At a time when we're seeing wireless phones take on more tasks, web access, email, information alerts, it's interesting to note that in the computer world, the pendulum is swinging the other way. What used to be done by a multitasking beige box may soon be handled by several smaller, single-function appliances. Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. Already in the consumer arena, we're seeing internet appliances on the market. If all you need to do is access the net and send email, why buy a souped-up computer? Electronic notepads free us from having to drag the laptop to a meeting. And while reading an entire novel at your desktop computer may not sound inviting, many readers love the idea of the electronic book. One device, many books, and an easy way to annotate. So join us as we take a look at the new issue of appliances in the business world and more on this edition of The Next Wave. Welcome to The Next Wave. In this segment, we're going to take a look at the new trend of plug-and-play appliances, what they will look like, what they will do, and who stands to benefit most from them. Joining us are Greg Yerxa, a contributing editor for Network Computing Magazine and CTO of Matrix Tech, Joe Corso, General Manager of Hewlett-Packard Output Management, and Jim O'Reilly, President and CEO of E-Appliance Corporation. Gentlemen, thank you all for joining us here today. Greg, one box is called a server or a computer. Another box is called an appliance. What's the difference?
Well, appliances are geared towards a particular task. They're designed to take away the learning curve of the underlying technologies to make it easier to roll out new, more advanced features and technologies in an environment where you really don't care about the, little details.
Mm-hmm. All right. Joe, Hewlett-Packard has developed a router. Mm-hmm. And this is to deliver documents, for document delivery. Is document delivery a problem that calls for a special piece of equipment?
Well, it certainly calls for a special solution. For some number of years now, HP has had some document delivery technology that we have deployed successfully to many large enterprises. And this technology eliminates the business process failures that occur when a document doesn't get delivered properly. And if you think about it, a document is the currency of all business process transactions. That's how our business is run. Now, the case is that lots of small and medium-sized businesses, in addition to the enterprises that we have, could stand to benefit from getting their documents delivered reliably. But the complexity of putting together all the different pieces of hardware and software to come up with that solution is an obstacle that they can't overcome. What the HP document router does is integrate that document delivery technology that we had been providing to enterprises in an appliance, which basically overcomes those complexity obstacles.
It makes the delivery more reliable, is that what I'm hearing?
Right. Yeah, now there's nothing about our solution that will stop a fax machine from being busy or from a printer from being out of paper. But what the HP document router does is take applications, take documents from any application standard file print mechanism that we all understand today, transform it and deliver it to a variety of destinations, whether it's print, email, fax, web, it doesn't really matter.
How does it make the choice?
It just depends on where the customer, where the user wants it to be sent.
Right.
So I might want to send you a document to the printer outside of your office, but I may want to send it to Greg via the web. You can just pick that when you send the document. The document router will then make sure that it gets delivered to your printer properly. If your printer's busy, it will retry it. It'll automatically resend it to another device if you would like it.
All right, good. That's helpful. Let's turn to the following report and see the benefits this appliance brings to document delivery.
Inside this small box is the tool that could change the way your company does business. It's the creation of Hewlett-Packard's Austin division.
We have put sophisticated information delivery technology in a low-cost appliance, therefore giving small companies and medium-sized companies a cost-effective route to technologies that previously were only available to the world's largest organizations.
The new HP document router is an all-in-one appliance that performs the very complex process of delivering critical business documents to printers, faxes, email, or even to the web. Shown here, installation is as simple as plugging in the power cord and connecting to a company's network. Most companies use multiple servers like print and fax servers to deliver documents. With the document router, companies are able to deliver all those jobs through one appliance. Documents can be tracked within business processes. If one output device fails, the document can be rerouted to another for control of the entire information delivery environment.
The product itself is going to help improve business processes. It provides capabilities that will allow organizations to literally change the way they work.
There's an enormous growth potential in this kind of a product. It's a box. It's a pre-configured box that contains significant functionality that will be highly useful to many companies that have the same kinds of needs but only on a smaller scale as do the Fortune 1000.
The document router streamlines the functions of larger delivery systems currently used in many larger companies and enables smaller companies to be just as efficient and fast at a lower cost. From Austin, Texas, this is Ted Barnhill reporting for The Next Wave.
The report, Joe, mentions that the router is especially beneficial to smaller companies. Wouldn't it be beneficial to larger companies as well?
Yeah, it's beneficial to anybody that uses documents in a business-critical way. Our research shows that 30% of all business process failures are because a document didn't get delivered properly.
All right. Jim, your company, eAppliance, is developing a different kind of router, a different kind of appliance. It's a network router?
It's basically a platform system. We're tackling the hardware side of the problem primarily. We're looking to improve the throughput between the storage side of the system and the network side of the system. The paradigms in the industry are changing. Historically, we've had computers. In the future, I think we're moving towards data movers. These are machines that are optimized for taking the data and moving it rapidly and economically through the system. And that's the thrust that we're playing in this,
and this will
appliance marketplace.
To replace a computer, to use it rather than a computer to move information?
In many cases, it will replace a computer.
All right, good. Let's take a look at this report to understand what a company will use a network appliance for.
eAppliance Corporation of Santa Clara, California is a company dedicated to exploiting the processing power of network-attached devices. These new appliances will extend the frontiers of information technology by focusing all of their data processing and data transmission power on a single business problem. One company interested in exploring these possibilities offered by eAppliance is Digital Fountain in San Francisco, a company focused on the distribution of high-demand content to an extremely large audience over a crowded information highway.
So the internet is not a perfect network. It drops packets, it has errors, but most important, it gets congested. People at the same time want to go after a certain piece of information. Much in life, as in rush hour times, everybody wants to get on the highway to go home. And we call this content branding.
In addition to congestion, Digital Fountain needs to work with a company that understands the potential growth of the web, whose appetite will be 5 or 10 times greater for multimedia content.
We want to work with a company, eAppliance is an example of one that understands how to push the performance edge and yet understands the need to put something into an appliance format, which makes it much easier for our customers to adopt.
By offering a suite of network appliance products, starting with the Supernode eAppliance can solve a multitude of problems for companies like Digital Fountain and its customers.
We also need to be working with high-tech companies to understand how to scale the hardware platforms.
Scalability, the ability to optimize space and increase performance, is also a major consideration that content providers must address.
If you can build a box that's half the size of the previous generation, they have the ability to support twice as many customers in that physical amount of space, and that's good for their business. That turns around and drives our business, and that turns around and drives the companies that we do business with.
From San Francisco, California, this is Sunny Quinn reporting for The Next Wave.
The report, Jim, mentions network congestion. How does this appliance deal with that problem?
I think we should use the highway analogy. The computing system typically tries to move the data, the cars if you like, faster and faster down the highway. There's a limit to how fast you can run a car on a highway. Everyone knows that. They start running into each other. What we've done is to increase the number of lanes on the highway. The appliance that we are building is 4 computers in the same space as traditionally we've seen 1. In fact, even more dense than that in many cases. We would, I think, best analogize that by saying that a typical server is around 5 inches high and so wide, and in the same space we can put 12 of our engine boards, 3 boxes of product, and each one of those boxes is equivalent of a lane on the superhighway, so that in that same space, instead of just 1 lane, now we have 12 lanes.
All right, good. Greg, how pervasive is this idea, 1 box, 1 task?
Within network computing's editorial, ever since I've been involved, most of the past 4 years, we've seen every different technology and product space become saturated with appliances. Software areas like web servers and specialized appliances, for example, load balancing. You've seen a lot of new appliance-based products that compete head-to-head with software solutions. And 9 times out of 10, they're very close in feature set and continually getting better, but at the same time, very competitive with the price point and eliminating all of the finer points of setting up an underlying operating system.
Joe, Jim, is that what's driving this, the things that we've been talking about, or are there other benefits as well?
I think the industry itself is having a problem today. The number of IT professionals isn't increasing, it's decreasing. And at the same time, the demand for IT professionals is increasing dramatically. The result is you have to find new ways to do business in the IT business. You have to find simpler ways of running a system. And what we're seeing is a groundswell, the appliance business as a response to that need. We're essentially dumbing down the operation of computer systems. We're making it easier to run systems. We're making it easier to install them. A typical appliance today would be installed in less than an hour. Typical computer system of 2 years ago might take 5 to 10 hours.
Joe, is HP making other appliances as well?
Yeah, it has a number of different appliances it's putting together because I don't think we're dumbing it down so much, but we are making it a lot simpler for people to get the power and the capability of what has traditionally been very complex environments. At HP, we're committed to trying to make the internet a lot friendlier, a lot more efficient place to be. And we're doing that by focusing on the intersection of 3 key components. Number 1 is highly reliable infrastructure. The second one are these kinds of appliances. And the third are e-services that are available to everybody. The HP document router is an example of taking our proven software that was doing that reliable document delivery and putting it in an appliance that anybody can use to get that value, and that'll make the internet an easier place to be.
Well,
incidentally,
that's desirable.
Dumbing down requires you to make a much smarter system.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is much tougher, but that's part of the penalty of technology
More
progress.
sophistication to make it easier to use.
Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We're out of time. It's a fascinating discussion. Before we go, I'd like to thank each of you for joining me today. Jim O'Reilly of E-Appliance, Joe Corso of Hewlett-Packard, and a special thanks to Greg Yerxa from Network Computing for serving as our expert. We'll be back with a new guest and a new topic, so stay with us. For more information on the Next Wave, visit www.nextwavetv.com.